I analyzed Ropz's Mirage demo from the IEM Rio Final, so you don't have to. In this video, I will show you the most useful positioning, utility, movement, and decision-making details that you can instantly apply in your own games. Thanks to these ideas, you rank up faster, even in solo queue. Ropz has the best spawn for A. He Molotovs ramp, jumps into palace, and immediately aims with his sniper at this spot. His crosshair is so low, because terrorists often crouch here when they peek. Flames also enters palace and checks the close left position. Ropz keeps holding the same angle. Patience pays off and he gets the entry kill. He instantly changes position. He checks ramp, connector, ramp again, and then moves to ticket. When he runs to city, he jumps, because an upper from Catwalk could be holding him. Then he aims at Catwalk. Another small detail. Ropz first shoulder peeks, expecting an upper on mid. At that moment, the terrorist smoke connector. Ropz reacts instantly, aims at the smoke, and clicks W plus left mouse button to break it. Before the smoke even explodes, he pre-aims Catwalk and gets a second kill. As you can see, Shiro misses the flick. Now let's move to the next example. Ropz has the best spawn for mid. He jumps out of window and sticks to the left wall. He runs sideways to avoid getting flashed by terrorists and takes position near the smoke and waits. Here is an important tip. When you play terrorist side, remember that a city can hide inside this smoke. Apex stays in window, pulls out a flash, aims at this spot and waits. Then he throws it while running with left click. On the X-ray, you can see the exact moment Apex throws it. Ropz turns away from the flash, peeks, and easily gets the entry kill. Magix was fully blinded and had no chance to react. It's also worth noting that Flames throws a Molotov behind the boxes on top mid. Because of this, Ropz doesn't need to worry about this position. Then he checks the smoke, expecting a terrorist to be hiding there, and only then rotates to B. If you like aggressive plays, I have a really strong tactic for you. Tnir throws a Molotov and plays behind the wood. For a split second he hears a terrorist burning on ramp. Then he walks to the box, aims at this spot, and clicks the left mouse button. At the same time, Dong throws a nade onto ramp. Tnir waits for the explosion, then pushes into the smoke, jumps onto the flower pot, and kills Ropz. He immediately changes position after the kill. Ropz expected a smoke rush, but the timing was off. Now let's move to a catwalk position that helps you win more duels. At the start of the round, Ropz stands here and moves side to side to make himself harder to hit. This position helps separate fights. Players from bench and chair cannot see you. Because of this, you don't need to waste a smoke on catwalk and can focus only on the player rushing at the start of the round. You can save your smoke for later. When you strafe like this, remember that a terrorist from right connector can still see you, so it's good to have a teammate covering you. Saving your smoke for later is useful in the next situation. Ropz sees a smoke thrown from boxes into window. He immediately responds with a smoke on catwalk to counter Spirit's play. Remember that a terrorist on the chair can see your arm, so if an upper is there, he could kill you. Then Ropz waits for the smoke to explode and safely moves into ladder room. He aims at the edge of the smoke and holds. This position is strong because a terrorist in connector cannot see him. At this moment he hears an opponent in underpass. He moves closer to the smoke and stands next to it. He crouches, so the player under window cannot see his head. Then he stands up, spots the terrorist, and gets the kill. Magix didn't expect him at all. It's important to note that Ropz only stands up when he is about to peek. If the terrorist was holding bench, he would see his head. After the kill, he immediately falls back behind the wall to avoid getting spammed through the smoke. He knows there is at least one more enemy mid, because he just broke the smoke and got shot at. He might have also briefly seen him. So he peeks again, gets a clean wallbang through the smoke, and secures a second kill. A few seconds later, he peeks mid once more, loses the duel to Shiro and dies. Here's one more important positioning tip. Tnir runs into underpass, and Ropz hears everything from the short corner. You need to remember this when playing terrorist side. However, at higher levels terrorists can also fake an underpass push. Now let's move to Ropz's movement and peeking. When he peeks mid he crouches. If a terrorist is holding on bench, he will not see Ropz's head. However, a crouching player on catwalk can still see a part of your head and kill you, especially with scoped weapons. Let's go back to Ropz. Before stepping onto the elevated position, he crouches first and only then stands up. This gives him a better chance to surprise and win the duel against a player on bench. Then he places his crosshair where enemy jumps onto bench from. These are the small details that make a huge difference in CS. After that, Ropz picks chair using A and D movement. This makes him faster and harder to hit than if he was walking with shift. Then he crouches and checks the right side of mid, so terrorist can't easily hit his head. When checking top position, he again picks using A and D. When he checks boxes on the right, he crouches again. At that moment a terrorist picks him, and Ropz gets the entry kill. Pay attention to his movement. He picks while crouching. When he sees the enemy, he stands up for a moment, then crouches again. Because of this, Magix only hits him once. Then Ropz spots another enemy. He briefly falls back so he does not stay in one place for too long, and then picks again. This time he loses the duel, leaving Donk on only 4 HP. But if Donk had missed the headshot, he would have likely died. From Catwalk, you can also check the position under window. Even if someone is on top mid, or behind the boxes on the right, they cannot see you. But you should still have a teammate in window, or connector, to watch top mid. When you want to hold the left side of short, remember that the enemy upper can stand on chair. A good solution is to jump. This gives you a much lower chance of dying. You should do the same when you want to move to the right side, for example to help your teammate on B. This is how it looks from the terrorist POV. If you want to check chair, but do not want to jump to the left side, you can jump spot like this. As you can see, the chance of dying is very low. Instead, you can also check chair with a shoulder pick. This is how it looks from the terrorist POV. Now you already know how to pick and position yourself on Catwalk. Let's move to some useful mid utility. We start with a flash. Ropz aims at this spot, and while running, he presses jump plus right mouse button. Its goal is to blind the terrorist, rushing Catwalk. If the terrorists are playing slowly, they can walk up connector. In that case, you can catch a good timing and throw a simple nade. This grenade deals around 50 HP. Ropz knows that a terrorist is crossing underpass. He aims at the arrow and throws a nade while running. The grenade lands perfectly and deals around 50 HP. Importantly, Ropz throws it before reaching the wall, so a player on top mid or boxes can't see him. You can use a similar idea with a Molotov. It forces movement. The enemy must either swing into the open or fall back into underpass. Now I will show you a simple tactic to check mid. Ropz stands at the back wall, aims above the lamp, and presses W plus left mouse button. The Molotov lands on chair and burns a large area. You should practice this, because if you aim too far right, the grenade will bounce off the wall. Right after the Molotov, you and your teammate can throw a flash. Mezzi stands at the back wall, aims at this spot, and throws W plus left click. At the same time, Flames throws a flash under window. Its job is to blind the terrorists coming from underpass. It also forces anyone under window to turn away. Even though this lineup looks simple, you should still practice it. If you throw it badly, it will not blind the underpass player. Also be careful not to pick too early and flash yourself. From connector, Flame swings wide to check top mid boxes and chair. Meanwhile, Ropz first checks chair using only A and D movement, without shift. Then he crouches and checks position next to chair. At that moment, Mezzi throws a flash, so Ropz turns away. Then he checks Catwalk and top mid boxes. In the end, he throws a nade into underpass. As you can see, every player has a role, so there is no situation where everyone swings the same angle at once. Besides Catwalk, it's also important to know how to play short. Let's start with a simple wallbang. Ropz stands next to the column and aims at the bottom left corner of the wood. This is a wallbang for a terrorist who wants to enter apartments. You can repeat it every few seconds to catch good timing. If you are afraid of counter wallbangs from terrorists, you can also shoot from this position, but be careful not to aim too far left or your shot will hit the wall. Mezzi also wallbangs the smoke. If a terrorist tries to change position to avoid Ropz's wallbang, he could pick apartments. Then Mezzi could kill him. When you reload, I recommend not doing it in the open space, but instead hiding for a moment. Now I will show you how to properly smoke apartments. Ropz stands in a way that he can only see part of the window. This is how it looks from the terrorist POV. Ropz aims at this spot and throws it while walking. The grenade lands after the apartment's narrow, so the enemy cannot sneak onto the edge of the smoke. Right after that, Mezzi checks apartments. He waits for the previous smoke to fade, and only then jumps in, because there could still be an enemy inside. If you feel that a terrorist is close in apartments, you can throw a simple nade. Tnir loses almost 50 HP. Now let's move to another situation. What to do when terrorists rush B apartments and you are far on short. Ropz crouches immediately when picking. If an enemy is holding short, they will not hit his head. Ropz sees two enemies, one jumping out and one running toward balcony. He shoots a few bullets and then quickly does a small peek to the right. This gives him more time to react and fight the terrorists on balcony. Because of this, the player in window cannot see him and Ropz doesn't have to fight two enemies at once. His decision pays off and he gets the first kill. Then he picks window and crouches instantly to avoid a headshot. After that, he picks left and kills another enemy. Here you can see a very important detail. Even though only one player is left, Ropz keeps moving, crouches while picking, and pre-fires window. He does this because his team is far away. If he died, the terrorist could plant the bomb and gets extra money. This shows how vitality reduces risk. Only when Apex arrives can Ropz take a longer fight and he finishes the round with a third kill. Here are two tips about rotating. Terrorist planted the bomb on A. Even so, Ropz pulls out his M4 and checks apartments. Only when he sees nobody, he jumps into market. At higher levels, one terrorist might stay on B to kill a rotating city. When you rotate from Catwalk to A, instead of dropping into connector, you can jump into window. This lets you check underpass mid-air. Terrorists sometimes wait there to catch cities off guard. Now we move to very useful utility that helps you take control of different parts of the map. We start with an epic flash. Tinir stands at city, aims at this spot, walks forward, and presses jump plus left mouse button. Ropz had no time to turn away. The flash also blinds a terrorist who could be standing on bench. Importantly, you throw it from cover, so even if a terrorist picks ramp, he cannot kill you. Now I will show you a Molotov for retake. Ropz aims at the right window and throws it while running. The grenade burns the whole ninja spot. He throws the nade slightly to the left, because pros sometimes stay in the Molotov for a moment and then peek after a teammate flash, or simply wait for a timing to surprise cities. If a terrorist was on ninja, he would likely die. Also, when Ropz throws both grenades, he does not overpeak to the left. This way, a player on ninja, or wood, can't see him. There is another useful Molotov. Ropz plays in window. He stands next to the table, aims at this spot, and throws it while holding both mouse buttons. The grenade lands in underpass and also burns the right side corner. Because of this, ZywOo can pick top mid from Catwalk without worrying that a terrorist will rush underpass and kill him from behind. Since we are already in window, I will show you a simple flash. Zontic stands in front of the column, aims near the top edge of the window, and while running, presses right mouse button. Apex gets fully blinded, and Dawn kills him. However, it's not a perfect lineup, because the flash is visible for a split second while flying. Because of that, Ropz manages to turn away and quickly refrag his teammate. Here is how you can help your teammates on A. Ropz stands in the corner, aims at this spot, and presses jump plus left mouse button. The smoke lands in Palace. If you know that one terrorist is hiding in the top mid corner, you can use this utility combo. Shiro throws a nade while running. ZywOo loses almost 80 HP because he has no armor. Then Shiro pulls out a Molotov, aims at the second window, and also throws it while running. The order matters. If he threw the Molotov first, ZywOo could escape. But this way he takes heavy damage from the nade and then gets trapped by the fire. If you enjoyed this analysis, there is another one waiting for you on the screen. YouTube picked it especially for you, so click on it and let's keep going.